Hi, this is Jonathan from Melbourne Aquaponics. This video is going to be the fourth part of the interview we had with Mr. Peng, who has a commercial greenhouse. He's going to give us a lot of information about how he managed to maintain good parameters into his water in commercial aquaponics. I hope you're going to enjoy this video, but just before, please subscribe to the channel, and if you haven't done it yet, download your free gift from the description of the video. And in terms of water parameters, how do you check them often?
Oh yeah. You have to monitor them all the time, especially when you have a large quantity of fish. So I actually invested a little bit in California, a company. They are going to deliver us next month an entire set of monitoring units.
Okay.
Just to temperature, pH, and all the nitrogen,
ammonia,
nitrate. They give you a online, constant online.
Oh, so you can check it from your computer?
Yes.
Wow, that's fantastic.
Yeah, so this is, I'm looking forward to it. So you can have keep a close eye on them. Okay?
Yeah.
But another thing I want to mention, very important, if you are running your system with fish, you better have a backup power.
Yes, it makes sense completely. And so what is the price of this setup, this unit to control your parameters?
I donated $800 to them.
800?
Yeah, so they will give me one set of equipment for free. I have no idea how much they sell at this moment. Yeah.
Okay. Is it a prototype?
Not prototype. No.
Okay, from the market, that's good. Because most of us, we use the color tests. Color images.
Yes.
And before in aquaculture, I used to work with refractometers, where we basically had a machine. I mean, it's the same thing. You just put your reactive into a little bottle.
No.
Put the bottle. But this one, the one you talk about, is
electronic.
Yeah. You're gonna have
but electronic has their problems. The sensor need to be calibrated,
as well.
Constantly. Otherwise, they give you a wrong reading.
Yeah. We had sensors for the oxygen, and we always had to clean them.
Yeah,
otherwise, you get some algae.
Yeah.
And then you don't see the real value.
Yeah, it's true. Very true. Yeah.
Okay, excellent. That's very interesting. And so, how do you balance the pH at the moment? Do you add something into the water to maintain it high? Or?
In terms of pH, it's a very complicated issue. The new system tend to have a high pH.
Yeah.
But it is okay. Don't do anything. Because new system need the time to have the bacteria established. And those nutrification bacteria requires high HP to be proliferate. So to multiply themselves.
Yeah.
So high HP is okay. A fish will be fine. A fish don't mind too much about pH. They can survive in a quite big range of pH. Yes. As long as the pH is not constantly fluctuate,
yes,
the fish will be okay. Yeah. However, when the system becomes mature, it becomes more acidic.
Yes.
And the pH will drop.
Yep.
So your system need a pH buffer.
Yep.
To maintain a certain hardness of the water.
Yeah.
Otherwise, if you are not experienced enough, you try to bring the pH up too fast, then fish will die.
Yes. So what are you using? Because in Melbourne Aquaponics, we advise to use eggshell, seashells, all those kind of things that we break down a little bit and we put it in a
bag.
In a, how you call it?
Onion bag, like.
Yeah, a bag basically.
Yeah.
A bag that will leave into the setup, and so when the pH decreases, they release whatever carbonates or other minerals to increase the pH.
Good idea.
And
Very
also,
good idea.
I also sometimes add some powders in my system to really boost it a little bit when I am very low.
You keep a constant hardness of the water is a good idea.
Yes.
This is a good idea. And my suggestion is when you have this kind of thing like oyster shells, those types of things, it's good, very good. And break down a little bit. When you put in your system, make sure they are in the way of water flowing.
Yes.
Don't put it in the corner.
Yeah, exactly.
It's not as effective as being flushed by water all the time.
Yeah.
So what I do is I actually put limestone.
Limestone directly. Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
Put the limestones into one of the tanks.
Yeah.
And let the water constantly
Flow.
wash the limestone.
Yes.
So that will do the same. Yeah.
So what kind of limestone are you using? Just something a rock that you found by
Yeah,
yourself? Or you buy
I
it?
just looking at the paper or online, it's people demolish houses.
Ah, okay.
So they have a limestone that's not exactly usable.
Ah, yeah, I see.
So you can buy them cheap.
Excellent,
Yeah.
excellent. And do you test the oxygen, or how do you?
Oxygen, yes. Now I'm trying to, because I invested in the equipment, so I'm waiting for it. But however, I've done some research. I realized that using chemical do the testing of oxygen is much more reliable.
Nice.
Although it's lots of procedures.
Yes.
But however, it gives you a better, reliable reading.
Yeah, but better lecture. Okay.
Yeah. And when you keep a high density fish in the system, I think you need to constantly monitor
The oxygen.
dissolved oxygen. If you're only a hobby, not really, not a real requirement.
Yeah.
As long as you keep the water circulating, that will be sufficient.
Yes. And how many fish do you plan to keep? Like, what kind of density are you targeting?
I try to achieve 50 kilos in 1 cubic
meters. Wow, yeah, that's quite high. I mean, it's nothing to do with aquaculture where they go to very high density, but in aquaculture they use pure oxygen, and then instead of managing the fish as I am used to say, they manage the disease. So that's not what we want to do here. We want to stay in low density, but still 50 kilo of fish per cubic meter is still a fair density.
Fair big. Well, compared to Mario Kart.
Yeah.
They can reach 100
kilo.
100 kilo per cubic meter.
meters.
But you don't need to do that.
No.
I think 50 is sufficient.
Yeah. And
for only for this purpose. You want to produce fish and vegetable at the same time.
Yes.
You risk that kind of density. Otherwise, no. If you only your vegetable only, 25 would do.
Yeah. Yeah, even less probably.
Even less, yes. Yeah, it depends on what kind of vegetable you grow.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, very interesting. I know that in aquaculture, sometimes for bassa, for example, they can go to crazy numbers. So bassa is a kind of catfish that is very well known in the world, and it accepts very low
oxygen.
Yeah, very low concentration of oxygen and very poor water quality. And they can go over 300 kilos, and some people say sometimes there are more fish than water. And the same thing for tilapia. Tilapia can survive in very, very poor conditions. So you can go to highest density, but the problem is then you got more problem with stress, because the fish are more stressed and therefore more disease. And then once you got a lot of fish in aquaponics, you can't treat it because any chemical you put in the system would act on the bacteria. So it would be a really bad idea. That's why
normally you don't
we
treat.
advise exactly. That's why we advise to stay in low density, especially if you begin. That's probably the best.
When you're a beginner, you better keep a very low density, make the fish look bigger, healthier. That's a better way to do it, because you are not producing fish anyway.
Okay, that's very interesting. And in terms of the greenhouse, so you are telling us that you're going to do an extension?
Yeah.
At the moment, what is the surface of your greenhouse?
It's about 400 square meters.
400 square meters. And you built it by yourself?
No. I'm going to do 400 square meters.
That's what you want to do?
Yeah.
And at the moment, you...
At this moment, I think it's about 150.
Wow, that's going to be huge.
Yes.
Oh my God, okay. And so your project, you're going to build it by yourself, or you're going to...
mainly by myself, because I enjoy the entire process.
Right.
So it's not in a hurry for me to in a hurry. I really wanted to do bit experience, to learn something new, and find the new solutions, that kind of thing.
Yeah, you're experimenting a lot, right?
Yes.
But this one was a prototype for you, and now you're going to build in bigger scale.
Yes. I think by this stage, I am confident that the system will run well.
Excellent. And what is going to be for you the main difference in terms of design and concept between your new project and the project you already have? What kind of improvement are you going to
the improvement is this.
If you are watching this video on YouTube, you will see that on the description of the video just below, you will have access to some free gifts. First, you have access to a 6-step process to be able to build your own aquaponics system in good conditions. I developed this 6-step process because I found that too many beginners are basically starting aquaponics with a wrong design. So if you want to build your own aquaponics setup, please just follow this 6-step process. It's completely free, right? I really designed it to help you to build your setup in good conditions and therefore to succeed in aquaponics. The second gift is for people who already have aquaponics. A very common problem we have in aquaponics is that we got the leaves of the vegetables that are turning yellow. And the reason why is because basically in aquaponics we sometimes need to add some minerals, otherwise the vegetables have some deficiencies. So if you have this problem, I made a special video about it as well, and you can have access to it in the description of the video. It's the free bonus video. If you are very interested into aquaponics, you can also have access to a webinar, a free webinar specific to aquaponics. I deliver a lot of information. Finally, you are probably aware that I wrote a digital aquaponics manual called The Art of Aquaponics, and you can have access to a free excerpt of this aquaponics manual where I add a lot of value and I give you a lot of my knowledge about aquaponics. So don't forget that you can have access to those 4 gifts on the description of the video, and I'm sure they're going to help you to develop your aquaponics setup and to produce your own sustainable and healthy food in good conditions. Bye bye. Thank you so much for watching the video. I really hope you enjoyed it. Don't forget to get your free gift from this screen. You can also leave me a comment below the video, subscribe to the channel and see my last video. I really hope to see you soon, and I wish you a fantastic success with aquaponics. Have a good crop!